Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm filming a video about what kind of equipment I use as an amateur YouTuber, I guess you would call me. So it's basically what equipment I use to film these videos and to take like blog pictures, all that kind of stuff. And I just thought I would sit down and kind of chat through everything, just because a few months ago when I started this, I say a few, it's been like 7, oh my god, it's been 9 months. Okay, so 9 months ago when I started doing this kind of stuff, I would have really benefited from being able to watch a kind of what equipment to get video as a new YouTuber. Obviously, as a new YouTuber, you don't necessarily have as much money to spend as the people who've been doing it for a long time. So what I noticed is that a lot of people were using like Canon G7X. They're normally like the most common camera to be using, and like the massive like Canon or Sony cameras to film their videos. And obviously if you're a new YouTuber and if you're quite young as well, you don't necessarily have the money to be able to be spending, you know, that much on equipment for something that you want to class as a hobby. So I thought I would sit down and kind of chat through what equipment I use myself and kind of where I got it from and how I think it works, kind of whether it's good or anything like that. And I just thought I'd kind of chat through all that so that if anybody is thinking of starting a YouTube or they're wanting to invest in like some new equipment and things, they can have a look at kind of the lower end of the products instead. So as I said, I have been doing this for around 9 months now. I started at the beginning of the year, and a lot of the equipment I use I did buy specifically to be able to do this and to blog, you know, to get the best kind of quality that I could. So back when I was doing my odd 1 or 2 videos that I was doing last year, kind of towards the end of the year, I was using just quite simply my iPhone to film those. So I have an iPhone 6S, this is my phone. What's really handy with the iPhones is that you've got that kind of flip camera. So what you can do is you can set up your camera on like a little tripod. You can get specific phone tripods now, so you can set it up, have the flip camera so you can see yourself while you're filming to kind of see whether you're in shot and everything. And the quality isn't too bad. For a like mobile phone, the quality has gone up so... I have notifications. But yeah, the quality has gone up so much, and they're so handy to be able to do if you're like completely starting out, you don't have any money to invest in anything. I know quite a few people who do use their phones as kind of cameras and things for vlogging, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely if you can't invest in a camera or something, use your mobile. You can get little tiny tripods. I think mine cost me like £1.50 off eBay. They're ridiculously cheap. So you can just get like a cheap little tripod, set your phone up on it and use that. It's also worth mentioning that with my phone, I do also take all of my Instagram pictures. I'd say like 99%. I'll occasionally grab one off my camera, and I also take the majority of my blog pictures as well. If you look back on my blog up until kind of the last few, I'd say the majority of my pictures have been taken on this phone here. It's just like my advent calendar one, I know that they were taken on my camera, but for the majority they are taken on my phone, because as I say, the quality is just really good at the moment. They're just super handy to use for this kind of thing. In terms of what camera I used to sit down and film these kind of videos, I will now switch to another camera to film that segment, so I will probably be in a different position, but I will see you in about 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm on to what I use as my vlogging camera, so do excuse the change in quality and the fact that it's a little bit wider, just so that I could kind of film and tell you guys what I use for my kind of regular sit-down video camera. So this is the camera that I use to do my sit-down videos and take pictures, etc. on, and this is the Samsung NX3000. So it's quite a big chunky camera. This lens here is detachable, and this is kind of like the body of the camera, I guess. So this is like what I use to do all this kind of stuff. It's what I've been using since I started back in January. My old videos, obviously I use my phone for, but since I've been doing kind of regular videos from January onwards, this is what I have been using. This is also the camera that I took with me to London, so my London vlog, which I will link below, was all filmed on this camera here. So yeah, this is quite a big chunky camera. You've got a biggish lens. The lens kind of zooms in and out and things, and you can also lock it so that it closes. So to lock it closed, this is kind of how wide the camera is. But as I say, you can take this off as well. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this. It's a nice big camera. The quality is really, really good. I personally think, I hope you guys agree. The sound quality isn't too bad for a camera as well, because I don't use a microphone at the moment. And one of the features of this, which has been like, I wouldn't say a lifesaver, but to kind of go forward, I would only be able to have this on cameras now going forward, is a flip screen. So my screen flips up like this. It's just turned itself on, so I'm going to turn it off. But this is what my flip screen is like. So it means that when I'm sitting down and filming videos, I can see exactly what I'm filming, whether things are in shot, whether I'm in focus. Although to be fair, it does take me out of focus a lot. So yeah, I can see all that on there. But obviously it does flip down as well. So if I was to be filming something in my hand like this, or to take pictures, I can still see everything on the back. And obviously it can go up to different angles and things to get up to that kind of fully opened area, basically. So yeah, this is a super handy camera. It fits a micro SD card. You can take your batteries in and out, charge them, all that kind of thing. You've got lots of different settings on it. I'm not a camera nerd, so I'm not too kind of sure what all the settings are. I just use auto, but I do need to spend a little bit more time kind of having a look at this camera and trying out the new things. And yeah, I absolutely love this camera. The only downside to it is because it's so chunky, it doesn't fit in a handbag very well, which is why I went out and bought a second camera to use for vlogging. And it also means that it's quite heavy. But yeah, to like hold it, it's nice to hold, but to hold it out all the time, it does hurt your arm a little bit. Which is why I got a second camera. But I do absolutely love this camera. It's my little baby. My dad helped me pick it because he is a camera nerd. So he knew kind of what I wanted and things. So we had a good look around. I actually bought this secondhand from CEX. From what I can remember, because it was a little while ago, I think I paid, it was either between 250 or 350 for this camera. I think that's what it was. I got it secondhand, like I said. It's still in excellent condition. It came with the lens. It came with a couple of other like things with it as well. And for something as a start out camera, £300, I personally didn't think was too much. I thought it was a good investment. I always believe that having a nice camera, or like a good camera, is a good investment, but it's not something that you need to do. But I definitely suggest going to CEX if you know, are looking for a new camera. They have quite a wide range. They have stores around the country as well. They have an online store, and I mean, I guess the guys are good to talk to as well. I mean, my dad knew exactly what I wanted, but they did ask if I had any questions, if there was anything I wanted to talk through. So yeah, really good kind of place to get something from, and secondhand, absolutely perfect. I think this was a class B. I want to say it was a category B, and it's in excellent condition. I've found no faults with it, and it works perfectly. I think the quality of everything is really good with it, and yeah, I absolutely love this camera. It does go a lot of places with me, but I am trying to kind of swap it out for using this camera that I'm on now. So yeah, that's pretty much everything with this camera. As with everything that I mentioned in this video, I will leave links below. I can't guarantee that I'll be putting a link to like the CEX version or anything, but I will put a link to like the camera so you can have a look through the spec and all that kind of thing. And now back to filming on this camera. Okay, so the camera that I just filmed to film that segment, and also the camera that I use as my vlogging camera, is this one. So this is the Samsung NX Mini. So it is the same brand. It's essentially the same type of camera as the main camera that I use to film these videos, but it's a much smaller camera. So whereas my other one was quite chunky and it has quite a big lens on it, this one's like a little handheld and it's quite small. It's still got a lens on it, so it has still got like a little bit more depth to it, but it's not like crazy big. It's also much lighter. Now, I didn't have this camera when I went to London and I filmed my vlog. I was using my main camera, and my gosh, is that camera heavy. So I definitely knew that I needed to invest in one of these so that I'd be able to kind of vlog more and take it on trips with me and things like that. And I just thought that this was like the perfect little one. My dad and I sat down and had a look at quite a few cameras with what I needed, so like the flip screen and things, and this was definitely the one that came up kind of on top. Now, the really annoying thing with this camera is that they no longer make them. which is a nightmare. So I had to search around quite a lot on the internet. They no longer sell them at CEX. I couldn't find any online, so I had to kind of keep prowling through eBay, and this was one that came up. It was a reasonable price. I bought it off a lovely woman. She sent me loads of updates, kind of chatted me through a bit of the camera technology as well, which was super lovely of her. And this came in the post like 2 days after I'd purchased it on eBay. I got this for around £150, I think it was. So again, it's not super cheap, but you know, it's not the most expensive either when you consider that a Canon, I think they're like 500 and something. So if you're just starting out, something like this is perfect. Now obviously this is coloured, it's a blue camera. It's not the most ideal. Preferably I would like just kind of a standard black camera, but for the price and the quality that I get out of this camera, I am not kind of being fussy at all. For the moment, this does me perfectly, and it's just so handy. So the features with this camera is obviously you've got your little lens here. This lens can be changed. So if you're wanting to use this as like a vlog camera, but then you're also wanting to use it as a photography camera, you can take this lens off and put a bigger lens on. I'm not too sure if the lenses that I use for this camera that I'm filming on now are compatible with this one, but I do know that they're both interchangeable, so that's that. It's also obviously got a flip screen. It's turned on, so I'm just going to turn this off. So the flip screen, as I said with the one that I'm using now, is super handy, especially when you're vlogging and things. Basically on this screen here you can see exactly what is being filmed, which means that when you're like holding it to vlog and you're holding it out like this, you can see kind of exactly what you're filming, which is just handy for anything really. If I was using this for sit down videos as well, it's just extremely handy. It doesn't kind of add much weight to the camera. It does flip up completely, so on the back there's like nothing on there, but then it does obviously go all the way back down. So if you were to take pictures on this, or if you were to be filming like this, you can see everything on the back of the camera as well. So yeah, this takes kind of regular SD cards like the mini SD. They're quite easy to get in and out. You can obviously change the lens, you can change your battery and everything to charge it up, and it's just a super handy little camera. I'm not a camera nerd, as I said, so I don't know too much about this, but for what I need it for, I love it. It's just such a good camera basically. In terms of equipment for cameras, I don't have a lot really. I use a tripod that they sit on. We've got 2 tripods. The big one I'm not going to kind of talk through. It's just a standard large tripod. It's one of my dad's. It's got features on there that I do not think that it needs. I do believe we could have got a much cheaper one, but my dad's a camera nerd and he loves it. So it's just a standard tripod that you can fold out. It comes to about this height here, which sat down is, you know, absolutely fine, and you just attach your camera to the top of it and it does perfectly. If I'm doing a video like this in my regular setup, so in my bedroom, the little tripod that I use is literally a little tripod, and it's just this. So this is my dad's, just so that I can show you, because obviously I'm using mine. So it's this little tiny tripod. It folds up nice and small, and it's got these legs that come out, so you kind of sits like that and balances like that, I guess. It's also handy because you can put it all together and use that as a handle if you need to, which is really good because this bit kind of goes up and down as well. So you can adjust where your camera sits, and then you can hold on to this, or you can sit it down and still adjust kind of what angle your camera is at. This was an eBay purchase. I want to say it was like £3. Probably will break on us. It's obviously not going to be the best quality, but for what I use it for, it works perfectly. I got mine at Christmas and it's still going strong. You know, it's working absolutely fine, and it's just a nice little tripod. For something like this, I'll insert a picture of what it currently looks like with me filming, but basically I use the tripod with the camera on and then I stack things up. I use my windowsill to film this, so to put a tripod on it there's just not enough room. It would look quite silly and I'd be like too close to the camera to be able to film comfortably. So yeah, I just stack things up as you can see in the picture. It looks a little bit silly, but it works, and for doing something like this, it's, you know, it's absolutely fine. In terms of editing, I would say basically use whatever software is on the computer or laptop that you either own or have access to. So I have a MacBook Pro, so the software that I use to edit is iMovie. It's on these as standard. It works absolutely fine for me. For where I'm at the moment, it kind of takes out the good video, I get good quality, it doesn't take too long to export, and I personally think that it's up to like a high standard. I hope that you guys think the same as well. So yeah, I just use what's on this. I already had this laptop before I started to do YouTube. I didn't purposefully go out and buy this to be able to do this. The only thing that I would mention is make sure that you have either enough memory on your laptop or you have enough memory on an external hard drive to be able to export videos onto. Just because videos are a lot bigger than you think they're going to be once they're exported, I can't really hold much on this laptop. I actually have nothing on this. There's a couple of pictures, literally about 5 or 10 pictures, and obviously all my software and things, but I don't store anything on this machine. It's all on an external hard drive so that this can still kind of work to the speed it needs to work at, and I can export everything, and it all sits on that external drive, and I've got plenty of room on there. So just make sure that one way or another you've got enough room to store them, because they are big, and if you're wanting to kind of keep everything as well, it's definitely worth kind of investing in something like an external hard drive. But if you're just starting out and you've got enough memory on your computer, and you're just doing like the odd few videos, I wouldn't say that it's a must, and you can start out with like small bits of memory and kind of go up. I don't store anything on my cameras either. Everything goes on that external hard drive and it's all together on there. If I ever lost that, I'd be lost. But yeah, no, that's how I kind of store it all at the moment. And that's pretty much all that I use to film my videos. I don't use anything too fancy. I do want to invest in some lights and a microphone, but I wouldn't say that they're like an absolute kind of must for me right now. As it stands at the moment, today is quite a gloomy day, and I think my lighting's still alright. I use natural lighting, which is why I use the windowsill. So I've got all that natural light coming in, and as I say, today's quite a dark, gloomy day, and I personally think that my lighting isn't too bad today. So I do think that I can kind of continue with that. I would just like to have some lighting for if I'm filming in my kitchen or anything like that, just so that I have that flexibility really. So it's little things that you can invest in as time goes on, but I think that you can start out with what you've got. So you can start out with your phone and a laptop, whether it's yours or your family's, as long as you know you've got access to it and they'll allow you to use it. It's fun to do, and just kind of go with what you've got. If you're wanting to invest in things, definitely search around like the second-hand stores. So you've got CEX and eBay. They're like the two that I personally use, and I've bought kind of good products from both of them. So definitely have a search around. You don't need to kind of go out and buy something brand new that is super duper expensive, because you know, I've got 2 cameras that cost me less than what kind of one brand new camera would cost, and I personally think that, you know, they're working absolutely fine, the quality is good, the actual camera itself is not scuffed in any way, shape or form, and you know, I'm really happy with kind of what I found. It is a chance of luck with a lot of things, so nip into stores, have a look online, chat to people, you know, go into the stores and chat, see what they would suggest, have a look at the cameras, try them out. And yeah, you know, it's one of those things that's fun, but if you're wanting to invest a bit more money into them, do just have a search around and build your way up. You don't need to like kind of go out and buy a £600 camera straight away, and build your way kind of up to that. And yeah, that is what I use as an amateur YouTuber, startup YouTuber, whatever you want to call me. That is the equipment that I use. I hope this video has been helpful in some way to anybody who is thinking about either starting up a YouTube channel or a blog, or is just wanting to invest in some new equipment. I hope that this has helped, and yeah, I will try and do these, I guess, as I get new equipment and things kind of going forward. But at the moment, as it stands, 9 months in, making videos every single week, this is what I am using. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Sorry it's been a little bit different, but you know, I wanted to do something that I hoped would help some people out there. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, it's all down there. If you're new, I've got all my links down there as well to my blog and everything, and leave me comments if you think there's anything that I should be getting next. If you could recommend any cameras or any microphones, anything like that, please do let me know, because I am always on the lookout for new things, so that I can kind of start saving up and investing in them. And yeah, that's everything for this week. I will see you next week with another video. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye!